On politics and power tonight, we take a look at former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's ongoing tour of the United States of America that has seen him come face to face with independent global citizens who are focused on issues than political theatrics. NTV's senior reporter Ibrahim Karanja interrogates the influence of the Kenyan diaspora, if any, on the political discourse and eventual decision at the ballot in Kenya.
One thing that has become more and more obvious in recent weeks is the influence of the Kenyan diaspora in shaping the political debate and potential outcome of the next general election. The ongoing tour of the United States by DCP leader and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is proof enough. In meeting halls in Baltimore, Maryland state, there seems to be a shift as audiences focus on issues and not tribal or regional alignments.
Remember, diaspora is the most educated constituency out of the 48 counties. We have the most literate people in the diaspora, and they're probably the wealthiest in all the counties, right? So with that awareness, it can't allow you to be fooled or bribed with here the 200 or 300 or 1,000 shilling to vote one way or the other. I think the diasporans will look for the candidate in what they have, they can perform, their performance as compared to tribal links or financial or bribery during the campaigns.
The Kenyan diaspora is demanding more issue-based politics, and they are making it clear that what happens miles away matters.
If we Gen Zs don't understand the mountain narrative, how are you going to engage us and find a way to position yourself or position these politics beyond one term and beyond the defense of Mulima? And by the way, I'm not embarrassed to be Kikuyu. I'm from Kirinyaga and Nyeri. You know, you can't get Kikuyu than that. You know, I'm very Kikuyu, but we have, you know, but that's just the truth. How are you going to convince us?
My daughter, if you follow what happened 2 weeks before I came to America, you realize why I have to defend the Mount Kenya people. Businesses for the Mount Kenya people were targeted for destruction. In other areas, they were not destroyed.
What are your plans to create jobs? To create jobs in Kenya?
Why should we then, close to the election in 2027, trust your judgment when back then it's given us route right now? So why should we trust you in 2027 when we are where we are right now?
The diaspora impact isn't just in headlines.
Whenever I'm here, I have an influence in my own community. I'll take maybe my sub-county. I could have great influence to the people there. So when these politicians come to the diaspora and they are able to convince me, then definitely I can speak because I have resources. I can easily speak to my people back home. And since I'm supporting their social issues, including fundraising for their churches, supporting the maybe burial or funeral, weddings, so they'll easily listen to whatever I'm saying. And that's why the politicians normally come to us so that we can speak on their behalf in those local villages that we come from.
In 2024, the Central Bank of Kenya recorded over $4 billion in remittances from abroad. That is no small feat, and they are not just monetary contributions. They are statements of solidarity and influence.
Well, how can we now use the power of remittance to influence the politics in the country? And that is when we have decided as leaders and as our diasporians that whoever comes in office must answer some questions for us. Which policies are you putting in? Because if you put in a policy that is affecting our families, let me take an example, school fees. If you have a policy that is affecting our children or our friends back home, then it's affecting us directly because they'll reach out to us. Most diasporians out of 100% earning, you realize that more than 50% is sent back home on average.
The 2010 constitution allows for dual citizenship, meaning Kenyans abroad can vote in presidential elections, though registration and logistical challenges persist. And while the voter turn-up abroad remains small, like in 2022, where only 6,500 Kenyans in the diaspora cast their ballots, their voices go beyond the voting booths. Through remittances, campaign donations and advice relayed to relatives back home, diaspora Kenyans subtly and sometimes clearly shape the agenda. Their physical numbers might not tip the scales, but their power of influence certainly does. That is why political parties in Kenya put so much effort into quoting diaspora support, or sometimes even trying to limit it depending on their interests.
The population now is 4-point-something million now of Kenyans in the diaspora. Now you can imagine if all the 4 million of them voted, that could be a game changer. And I think that's what threatens politicians over here. They don't want a diaspora to participate fully because it's the biggest constituency. We call it the 48th constituency.
The bulk of the Kenyan diaspora is in the United States, followed by the United Kingdom, Canada, and the Gulf. Yet registered diaspora voters for the last elections were just over 10,000. So why the big push for the diaspora vote? It is not about the head count. It is about the sway they hold, how they influence families back home, fund candidates, and demand reforms.
The current political ongoings in the United States places the Kenyan diaspora as a force yearning for change, not just with remittances, but with ideas. Not just with ethnic or sectoral politics, but with ideals and a determination to see a better Kenya for all, at home and abroad. Ibrahim Karanja, NTV in Nairobi.